Hello, I am also live on YouTube and sharing screen on SYBSC and TYBSC group. Here I am taking combined lecture for knowledge sharing purpose. Now this is also live on the YouTube. Subscribe my channel Mahesh Deshpande. Now welcome to College of Computer Sciences for the knowledge sharing program for TYBSC and the SYBSC on communication and the networks. In previous lecture, we are completed all the things related to the network technology. In SYBSC, this subject is also come into the modern section because now assignments are also related to the practical part. For this purpose, you have required extra knowledge about the C programming also. Now here protocol and standards are here I am explaining in this lecture. In this protocol, how communication is takes place in between two computers is taking place in between two systems and which type of work is required for the communication purpose we are seeing here. Now what is meant by this first protocol? Protocol and their standards is the different part means we have to study for single mark in TYBSC. This type of question is in front of you. What is meant by protocol and how protocol is work for the communication purpose? Simply, protocol is a set of rules. When we are meet with each other, there is some protocol. In Maharashtra, when we are met with each other, we say namaskar, namaskar to each other. This is the protocol of Maharashtra. When in another country, when you are reached to that point, then there is a shake hand between two persons, and after that, communication is started. In this way, simply protocol is set of rules. A network protocol is set of rules followed by the network. Means that network is very important part for the communication system. Now here wires are used, wireless communication is there, then infrared communication is there, then Bluetooth communication is there, Swatooth communication is there, then frequency division multiplexing is there, then code division multiplexing, that is CDMA cards. Before some years ago, there is a CDMA cards which we are used for the communication purpose. Now, what is meant by this network protocols? Protocol is nothing but there is a parallel line. When you are connected physically to physically two computers, then that point is not sufficient for the data communication. And for that purpose, you have required another parallel part, another logical communication, and that logical communication is known as the network protocol. Now how that protocols are working for the communication system? When you are working in physical layer, there is X.25, there is a frame relay, there is Ethernet, as like protocols are working. When you are come into the data link layer, some part of Ethernet is there, then HDLC is there, PPP is there, then different type of protocols means high definition logic control is there, then point to point connection is there, then logic link control is there. In this way, different type of protocols are working for the different layers. These layers are suited for the communication purpose in different ways. And due to this, network protocol is very important part for the communication system. In this way, uh, What is meant by this network protocol? Protocol is nothing but set of rules which governs on the two communication bodies. Then your single mark is completed. Yes? स्क्रीन दोन आल्यात का? हा. Yes, yes, yes. Admit. All students have come to the class before some time ahead. Number of the students are waiting. ओके. काय दिसतंय तुम्हाला सध्या समोर? Yes. How many screens are in front of you? Three screens are there. Okay. We are trying now for the live transmission for the YouTube and all the things. Okay. एक मिनिट हे सगळं बाकीचं बंद कर कारण त्यांना तीन स्क्रीन दिसतात. त्या ह्याला बोलव. अरे त्यांना तीन स्क्रीन दिसतात. एका दुसऱ्या लॉग इन वरून लॉग इन करून बघ बरं किती स्क्रीन दिसतात तिकडे. वाय थ्री स्क्रीन्स आर देअर. युट्यूबला की याला? युट्यूबला नाही, आपल्या गुगल मीटला. हॅलो, whose mic is on? Please remain. गुगल मीटचा आयडी सांगितलेला. लिंकला आहे ना गुगल मीट. आता तुमची मीटिंगचा आयडी मला समोर सांगितलं. तुम्ही hello, all are joined. 36 people are here. Please take the presentee. Who is taking responsibility? Anjali, na? Who is sharing me yesterday? On yesterday. Yeah. आता बघा समस्या. इको ऐकू जातो. हॅलो. Yes, all are present here. Now, how many screens are in front of you? Only two, na? This is looking very good in front of you. You have got the screen properly. Okay, can I start now? Okay, now protocol is the thing which is very important for the communication. Now, in this protocol system, we are transmitting data in a virtual model. In a virtual model. Now, what type of layers are there and how these layers are working? All the things are taken into the consideration for the communication system with the help of protocol. In this way, when protocol is there is a logical communication takes place in between two devices. When these two logical sections are communicated with each other, they are layer wise distributed. They are layer wise distributed. We seen that in yesterday there is a representation of transmission, or there is a representation of transmission section for the data flow. Means data is transmitted in simplex mode, in half duplex mode, in full duplex mode, in full to full duplex mode. In this way, all the things we are seen yesterday. Now, for that purpose, this very important task is there, and this task is called as a protocol. How that protocol is working in between two machines, or how that protocol is transmitted data in between two machines. First, do you know the protocol? Right, this definition is for single mark. Simply, protocol is a set of rules. If you are writing answer in this mode, then there is a only half mark. You have got the half mark. You have got the half mark with the help of this. When you are connecting number of the computers with each other, then at that time the network protocol is set of rules followed by the network. Now who made this protocol? अगर हम महाराष्ट्र में आते हैं, महाराष्ट्र में किसी से मिलते हैं, तो हमको नमस्कार किया जाता है. तो ये प्रोटोकॉल किसने बनाया? Who is behind this? Who gives this type of knowledge to us? नमस्कार या पाहुण्यांना पाणी द्या. हा प्रोटोकॉल कुणी बनवला? Means it is by default, it is by rules and regulation, and due to this it is divided into two parts. One is the de facto and another is the d0. Another is the d0. De facto means by default. D0 means by rules and regulations, means under the jurisdiction. आपण म्हणतो ना, this court is comes under the jurisdiction of Pune session. In this way, D0 is there for 5 mark question. There is 5 marks. That question is there. What is meant by protocol and what are the What is meant by protocol, and what are the three elements of the protocol? Explain any two elements. Explain any two element of a protocol. Now you can note down this question. If in front of you there is notebook, you can note down what is meant by protocol and what are the three elements of protocol. First element of this protocol is the syntax. What is meant by this syntax? Syntax, semantic, and timing are the 3 points related to this protocol. Now, what is meant by this syntax? We are on the syntax. What is meant by syntax, semantic, and timing? You have to write the definition of protocol and some explanation of protocol. You have 1.5 mark. You have 1.5 mark. For the explanation of syntax, semantic, and timing for single mark means it is 4.5 mark. And when you are writing some policies and need of the protocol and elements of the protocol, then you have got the half mark for the conclusion. And when you are writing good conclusion, you have get out of 5 to 5 marks. You have get out of 5 to 5 marks. Note down this point. This is very important thing to you, that what is meant by this protocol. Protocol is nothing but set of rules. Half mark. Protocol is nothing but set of rules logically connected two machines with each other. Logically connected two machines with each other, or this is the set of rules. This is set of rules with which two communicating bodies are controlled. Two communicate two communicating bodies are controlled. This system is called as a protocol. Now, who made this protocol? In which elements this protocol is working under? First element is the syntax. Syntax refers the structure or format of a data. We are on the data communication. We are trying to transmit a data in between two machines. When one machine is communicated with another machine, then at that time the term syntax is come in front of you. Now, what is meant by this syntax? Syntax refers the structure or format of the data. In which format you are transmitting a data. Now, what are the formats of data? You know the different type of data formats in the database technology. In this way, which type of structure you are used to transmit a data, it is called as a format of a data, or it is called as a syntax of a data. It is called as a syntax of a data. You have got the single mark when you are writing syntax of a data. You are writing syntax of a data. Second thing is related to the semantic of a data. Now, what is meant by this? Semantic, syntax, semantic, and timing. These are the three elements. फक्त एवढेच elements तुम्ही लिहून दाखवलेत तर तुम्हाला मार्क मिळतात 2. You have got 2 marks. Okay, when you are writing about the protocol, and when you are writing about the syntax and semantic. Now, what is meant by this syntax? Syntax is nothing but format or structure of a data. Syntax is nothing but and what is meant by this? Semantic. Semantic is nothing but meaning of section of each bit. It is called as a meaning of section of each bit. Now, what is meant by meaning and what is meant by section of each and every bit? Now, what is meant by these points? How that semantic is very important. Section of each bit. Now, what is meant by this section of each bit? Means how that bits are transmitted. They are continuous bits or non-continuous bits. It is 0 1 1 0 or continuous one stream. 1 1 1 1 1 6 times, 000 2 times, 112 times. Then at that time, it is written to 0, non-written to 0, as like this. What type of communication you can be used for this section? It is called as a semantic. It is called as a semantic. Now, third thing is the timing. Now, what is meant by this timing? Do you know the timing? Timing is nothing but time required to transmit a data. It is called as a timing. Now, timing refers the characteristics. It is nothing but characteristics. बघा इथं तुम्हाला 3 मार्क कसे मिळतात? प्रोटोकॉल is nothing but it is one of the entity. It is one of the entity used to cover up communication in between two transmitting and receiving bodies. What type of communication is there? How many timing is required? What type of communication is there? It is in front of communication. It is offline communication. It is online communication. What type of communication there? That communication is covered by this section, and it is called as a protocol. It is nothing but set of rules which governs on two communicating body. या ठिकाणी तो शब्द नाहीये. Which communicates, which controls the two communicating bodies. It is only a set of rules. But here one word is increased. This is a network protocol, is a set of rules. Now here writing network word. In place of that point, here writing word, it is called as a network protocol. Network protocol means which is governing on the network, which is governing on the network. And the 3 points related to this is the syntax, semantic and timing. This is very important thing. हा विचारलाच जातो. 5 मार्कासाठीचा क्वेश्चन बऱ्याचदा विचारतात, नाहीतर सिंगल मार्काला 100%. What is mean by protocol and what are the 3 elements? What are the 3 elements of protocol? Syntax, semantic, timing. Now, timing is very important because data is sending with the help of this section. When data you have to send, it should not be overwhelmed. It should not be cover extra capacity of a channel. It should not be bypass the channel. It should not be scrap in that channel. It should not be miss out in channel. Packets should not be matched with each other. All the things are covered in this section, and it is called as a timing of a protocol. It is called as a timing of a protocol. Third thing is related to the standards of a protocol. Now, what is meant by these standards? ज्या वेळेला means before some years ago, in India, there are different type of two parts. Means there is a traditional and non-traditional section is there. In our India, there is a share, mapta, chipta, as like this. But in America, there is no any share, mapta, chipta. Okay, when you are traveling in the rural section, there are different type of measurement values are there. There is different type of systems are there. In the there is again barter system is also in villages. But nowadays that barter system is not utilized. Barter system is not utilized, and here standards are there. Now, what is meant by these standards and how these standards are working? How these standards are working? Now, what is meant by these standards? Standard is nothing but it is the open system for the market. Open system for the market. तुम्ही अमेरिकेच्या बाजारामध्ये जर स्वतःचं साहित्य घेऊन गेला, ज्वारी घेऊन गेला विकायला आणि सांगितलं की आम्ही तुम्हाला फक्त ज्वारी शेअरावरच विकू, ते लोक म्हणणार व्हॉट इज मीन बाय दिस शेअर, व्हॉट इज मीन बाय माप्टर, व्हॉट इज मीन बाय चिफ्ट. इन दिस वे these are the local type of sections, but in our India this all sections we are used for the bartering system, but in internationally they are not accessible, not accessible, and due to this protocol standards are divided into the 2 points. One point is called as a de facto and another point is called as a de jure. Now what is meant by this de facto standard? It is private requirement. It is private requirement. It is that standards are developed by the private company. It is developed by the private company, not a national or international company, or not it is under ISO model, that is International Standard Organization model. And due to this, it is called as a de facto. De facto and de jure are the 2 points related to this section. Now, what is meant by this de facto? De facto is nothing but by default. It is nothing but by default. Some of the standards are considered by default. When you are taking some apples, when you are taking some fruits, suppose there is a ginger and all the thing. When you are taking from the different type of merchant, it is exactly given in kgs, in grams, in kilograms, in tons, in means different type of international standards are taking place. But when you are taking from the farmer, when you are taking 100 kgs, he by defaultly gives you 2 kg extra because it is the de facto part. Farmer says that some of the things are not good, then you can take extra 1 to 2 kgs. पुन्हा तुम्ही तो साहित्य घेऊन नाखुश होण्यापेक्षा आता घ्या आणि खुशीत राहा. In this way, this de facto part is utilized in the customer for the customer section or the customer satisfaction section. It is not. It is not. It is by default part. De facto means by default. Standard developed by the company by default. It is for the customers by default. When you are taken computer of suppose Lenovo, you have to give the battery from the Lenovo or compatible battery as a, like that point. It is the de facto. Suppose I am designing and developing routers for the world, and no one person in the world design the router as a, like my company. Then at that time, it is by default part. It is the by default part. And due to this, it is called as a by default. It is the de facto. Now, what is meant by de jure? De jure, it is required for the international standard in a for the public requirement. When public word is there is a lot of the changes. Means you have to give the transmission media for the public. Means I am seeing here Google Meet. In world, all the members can see the Google Meet. Who have this app and who have Gmail account. Macintosh system can give you this type of outcome. Then Apple is also can give this type of outcome. And this part is called as a D0 part. To avoid this section, to avoid the privacy, there is some public section is come into the market, and it is called as a by default. It is called as a by rules and regulation. When public is there are rules and regulation. And due to this, it is called as a D0. For again, 5 mark, this is the question. What is meant by protocol? What are the three elements of protocol? And list out the two standards of protocol. When list out two standards of protocol, de facto and D0. Only list out is sufficient, but you have to write answers or some explanation related to the by default and the by rules and the regulation. When public word is there, then there is a word related to this section. That is different type of public utilization is there. This is one word in front of you. It is called as ISO. Now we are seeing that there is OSI model of ISO. आपण जे मॉडेल बघणार आहोत पुढे जाऊन, it is called as a OSI model of ISO. Now what is meant by this OSI? That is, it is called as a open system interfacing model. It is called as open system interfacing model. ISO International System, International Organization for Standardization. International Organization for Standardization or International Standardization Organization. And due to this, ISO comes here. Now what is meant by ITU? That is International Telecommunication Union. Your MTNL, your BSNL, your Reliance Com, your Vodafone, your Idea, your means all the companies are registered under whom? Under International Telecommunication Union. And they are working under the telecommunication standard. Also, Jio is one of the company which works under the telecommunication standard. And due to this, it is called as a ITUT, or it is also called as ITU. Then another company is the ISE company is also there. IEC company is also there. It is also International Electronic Industries for the communication. In this way, there are different type of industries are working for the standard of organization, and these are working for the public section. And due to this, there are different types of rules and regulations. When there is some problem in your SIM, you cannot change your SIM in house. You have to go towards the store of that company, and then you can replace your SIM, because these companies comes under the D0 section, not a de facto section. It comes under the D0 section. And when it comes under the D0 section, you have required to study the standards. You have to required study about the standards of this system. And due to this, it is called as a de facto and D0. Okay, you can note down also. De facto is nothing but it is manufacturer's work, it is manufacturer's standard, it is manufacturer's establishment with which they are by defaultly given some specifications to the section. Before some years ago, Jio gives us all the things free for 1 year. Now, how it is possible? Because they are registered, but for 2 years or 3 years, they are given some facilities by the ITU section. By the ITU section, and due to this, it is called as a by default part. It is called as a by default part. Now, what is meant by this network software? Then what is meant by this protocol hierarchies? Then after that, what are the layer wise protocols and how that protocols are working layer wise? We are seeing in the next lecture tomorrow, where we are going to listen in the next lecture. This is my lecture for all the sections. How many are present here for the lecture? Now near about 50 people are here. All have to thank you from me, because this lecture is for uh, communication system for SYBSc and TYBSc, and with which we are sharing here all the things related to this section. Only some points are remaining of this topic, chapter number 1, basics or introduction of network communication. And these are the protocol, hierarchies of protocol, peers of protocol, interfacing of network, network architecture, and service access points.